One of the best things about traveling the world is being able to try some of the most amazing food from countries across the globe, but sometimes amazing doesn't quite cover it. Sometimes food is a test of courage. It's a dare. It's a window into a culture that pushes the boundaries of what we consider edible. This is SIBO'S Kitchen, and today we are counting down the 10 most extreme foods around the world. These aren't your typical tourist snacks. We're talking about dishes that smell like death, look like nightmares, or carry a genuine risk of a hospital visit. Make sure you hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss a journey. Our first extreme food takes us to the windswept volcanic landscapes of Iceland. If you've ever wondered what a cleaning product mixed with old fish tastes like, then hakarl is for you.
It's Greenland shark that's been laboriously fermented, dried and cured.
This is Greenland shark that has been buried in a shallow pit for months to ferment, then hung to dry for half a year. Why bury it? Because the meat of a Greenland shark is actually toxic when fresh. It's full of urea and trimethylamine oxide. The fermentation process neutralizes the poison, but leaves behind a pungent, ammonia-rich scent that can be smelled from streets away. Anthony Bourdain once called this the single worst thing he'd ever tasted.
The worst thing I've eaten was fish in Iceland. It's called hakarl. It's their national traditional dish, and it's basically putrefied fish that they then pickle for 6 months. It's a Viking thing. It goes back to when they didn't have refrigerators and they throw it in the ground and just let it rot.
When you try it, you'll usually get it in small, rubbery white cubes. It's chewy, salty, and tastes like the strongest blue cheese you've ever had. 2. Casu marzu, maggot cheese, Italy. Now, we usually think of Italian food as the gold standard of safe and delicious, but Sardinia has a secret that is literally illegal under EU health laws. Casu marzu. This is a sheep's milk cheese that is taken outside and left for the Piophila casae, the cheese fly, to lay its eggs inside. The larvae hatch and eat through the cheese, their digestive enzymes breaking down the fats and making the texture soft and liquid. But here's the kicker: the maggots are still alive when you eat it. In fact, if the maggots have died, the cheese is considered unsafe to consume. 3. Balut, Philippines. Traveling through the night markets of Manila, you'll hear vendors shouting, "Balut!" This is perhaps one of the most visually confronting foods for a Westerner. Balut is a developing bird embryo, usually a duck, that is boiled and eaten from the shell. Unlike a regular hard-boiled egg, when you crack this open, you'll find a partially formed chick with feathers, a beak, and tiny bones. You start by sipping the soup, or the amniotic fluid from the shell, which actually tastes like a very rich, savory chicken broth. Then, you peel the rest, season it with salt and vinegar, and eat the embryo whole. It's a massive street food staple and a huge source of protein, but it takes a lot of mental preparation to take that first bite when you're looking a duckling in the eye. 4. Fugu, pufferfish, Japan. In Japan, food is often about precision and art, but with fugu, it's about life and death. The pufferfish contains tetrodotoxin, a poison 1,200 times deadlier than cyanide. There is no known antidote. To serve this, chefs must undergo years of rigorous training and be licensed by the government. They have to carefully remove the liver, ovaries, and skin without tainting the meat. If they make a mistake, the customer faces paralysis and respiratory failure while remaining fully conscious. When prepared correctly, the translucent slices are arranged like a chrysanthemum. The flavor is incredibly subtle, almost white fish-like, but many diners report a slight tingling or numbing sensation on the lips from the trace amounts of toxin left behind. It's the ultimate culinary adrenaline rush. 5. Surströmming, fermented herring, Sweden. If hakarl was the smell of ammonia, surströmming is the smell of 1,000 rotting bins in the midday sun. This is Baltic Sea herring that has been fermented with just enough salt to prevent it from rotting, but not enough to stop the bacteria from producing carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. The cans are actually under so much pressure that they bulge out.
Oh, that's the worst smell I've ever smelled in my life!
And many airlines have banned them because they're considered explosive. 6. Sanakji, Live octopus, South Korea. In Seoul, fresh takes on a whole new meaning. Sanokji is a dish of long-arm octopus that is chopped up and served immediately while the tentacles are still writhing on the plate. Because the octopus has a highly decentralized nervous system, the tentacles continue to move and, more importantly, their suction cups remain active. This makes sanokji a genuine choking hazard. You have to chew the tentacles thoroughly before they can latch onto the inside of your throat. It's usually served with sesame oil and seeds, and the sensation of the suckers sticking to the roof of your mouth while you try to eat is something you'll never forget. It's less about the flavor and entirely about the texture and the fight of the meal. 7. Fried tarantulas. Cambodia. During the dark years of the Khmer Rouge regime, Cambodians were forced to find alternative food sources to survive, and they turned to the forest. Today, fried spiders, specifically the Thai zebra tarantula, have become a popular snack, especially in the town of Skuon. They are tossed in a mixture of sugar, salt, and crushed garlic before being deep fried until the legs are crunchy. The legs taste like crispy chicken or shrimp, but the abdomen is the extreme part. It's a dark brown paste consisting of organs and sometimes eggs. It's earthy and bitter, a stark contrast to the salty crunch of the exterior. It's a snack that definitely tests your arachnophobia. 8. Century eggs, China. Despite the name, these eggs aren't actually 100 years old, but they certainly look like they've seen a century or two. Century eggs, or paidan, are preserved in a mixture of clay, ash, salt, quicklime, and rice hulls for several weeks or months. The process turns the yolk into a dark green, creamy paste and the white into a translucent, salty brown jelly. The smell is heavy on the sulfur and ammonia, but the taste is surprisingly rich and complex. In China, they are often served with pickled ginger or as a topping for congee. It's the visual of the rotten-looking egg that keeps most travelers at bay, but for locals, it's a savory delicacy. 9. Witchetty grubs, Australia. Heading into the Australian outback, we find a staple of traditional Aboriginal bush tucker. Witchetty grubs are the large, white, wood-eating larvae of several different moths. When eaten raw, they have a liquid center that tastes somewhat like almonds. However, most people prefer them lightly grilled over an open fire. When cooked, the skin crisps up like a roast chicken, and the inside takes on the texture and flavor of scrambled eggs. They are incredibly high in protein and healthy fats, making them a true survival food, even if the sight of a giant, pulsing white worm is enough to make you hesitate.
Just do it. Come on.
You know which side's the head, yeah?
Side's the head. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's it. All the rest of that, you just put in
Eat
your
it.
mouth.
Chew it up and eat it. Chew it up. Chew, 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 chew. Swallow, swallow. Chew it up, swallow, swallow. Do it. Chew.
10. Eskimos, ant larvae, Mexico. Often called Mexican caviar, Eskimos are the edible larvae and pupae of ants harvested from the roots of agave plants. Harvesting them is no easy task. The ants are highly aggressive and their stings are painful. The larvae have a poppy, buttery texture and a slightly nutty flavor. They are usually sautéed with butter and spices and served in tacos. Unlike many items on this list, Eskimos are genuinely considered a high-end delicacy and are quite expensive. If you can get past the fact that you're eating ant babies, they are actually one of the most delicious, extreme foods you can find. Those are just the 10 most extreme foods around the world. Whether it's fermented shark in the north or ant larvae in the south, food is the ultimate way to understand the resilience and creativity of human culture. Have you tried any of these? Or is there something even more extreme that we missed? Let us know what your limit is in the comments below. Please make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Take care, guys. Keep exploring, stay safe, and until next time, stay creative.